Hey guys, what's up? How's it going? It's John, Gamester81. This video I'll be reviewing the new Nintendo Switch console. This came out March 3rd, 2017. I've had this for a couple weeks. I was going to do a review on it when I first brought it home that Friday, but I wanted to give some time to play with it. I wanted to understand the console more before I reviewed it for you guys, obviously. So here I am. I've had a good opportunity to check it out, check out the gameplay, get a good feel for what the system can do. And I just want to kind of share with you guys my thoughts about the Switch. I'm curious what you guys think about it as well. This is Nintendo's 7th home console release, starting, of course, with the classic NES that came out in 1985. Everything outside of the NES, I have picked up launch day. I was 4 years old when the NES came out, so I didn't have an opportunity to get it when it first came out. However, the Switch definitely has some pros. It definitely has some cons. The reason it's called the Switch is because you can switch it to do various ways of playing. You can use it as a home console. You can dock it into this station right here. You can also take it to go as a mobile system, which is pretty unique. Or you can use it as a tabletop. So there's actually a stand here, and it flips out. The stand is kind of flimsy. I noticed if you want to have it on a platform, make sure it's a steady platform. It's kind of flimsy. Not the best, but certainly not the worst. So there's three ways of playing it. It does come with, when you get the box, it retails for $300 US. So you get the system itself, you get the docking station, you get the HDMI cords, which hooks up the TV, obviously. You get the AC adapter. You also get this Joy-Con grip here. And what this is, you take the Joy-Cons, which are the joysticks. I'll explain what those are here in a second. You can use this as actually a controller, which is neat. You also comes with these kind of hand straps, and these actually go onto the Joy-Cons. And you can actually use the two side Joy-Cons as two separate controllers, which is a good and bad thing. I think it's very, very creative. One thing Nintendo has done really good at with their consoles is they've been innovative as far as how you interact with the game. So for example, they were the first company that actually had the analog sticks. Going back to the N64, they had the Wii U, of course, had the gamepad. You had the Wii with the motion controls. So they're very innovative. And the same thing is true with the system. Now, one thing I like about the Switch is the fact that you can take it to go and that you can play it on the home console. This is what I thought the Wii U, when it was going to come out about 4 years ago, was going to do. Unfortunately, we come to find out that that gamepad they had is pretty bulky, and you can't really take it outside of where the actual console is, which is unfortunate. So a lot of people will see the Wii U as a failure, as a disappointment. Others will say that there's some good games for it, and it's not a bad system. I'm kind of somewhere in the middle. I feel like actually Super Mario Maker is one of my favorite Mario games to ever come out. Smash Brothers is a great game. There's a lot of first-party support for the Wii U that have really good games. Third-party support, however, for Nintendo systems last several generations has been a big question mark. And it's kind of a wait to see how the Switch does. So what I'm going to do now is actually turn this thing on, show you the interface, talk more a little bit about the system, and then I'm going to share with you my final thoughts. I'm curious if you guys have picked up a Switch. What do you guys think? Leave a comment below. We'll go from there. First thing I want to show you is just what the game cases look like. They're very small, almost like PSP cases, and all you get really is the game card itself. There's no instructions. Pretty typical for modern games these days, unfortunately. You also get the handheld, the system. You get a docking station, the grip, as I mentioned before. Here's a closer look at this is the hand strings that you can attach to the Joy-Cons and make them two separate controllers, which is pretty unique. Let me show you how these Joy-Cons actually come off. There's a button in the back here, and they simply just slide off like so. And when you put it into, like without the Joy-Cons, it kind of looks like just like a normal tablet. This is when you have the grip. Now there's a Pro controller available as well, which I didn't get, but that has more of a standard D-pad on it. You can just see how it looks like. It actually feels okay. I'm not a big fan of not having the D-pad. Nintendo basically created the D-pad, and they got rid of it here. The idea is just basically have these two separate controllers. The analog's give is kind of short. You have a home button here. You also have a screenshot button. Later on, you can do video capture through that. There's BAXY, which is standard for most Nintendo consoles. Plus button here is the start. Minus is the select. You have your shoulder buttons, so you have R, you have ZR, and you have L and ZL buttons. Those actually feel really good. Let's go and take these off. I'm going to show you what this looks like when you put on these things. So you can see they actually have a symbol here. So this is for plus, and this is for minus. So you got to make sure that they're on the right ones. Otherwise, they can get stuck, which I had that issue happen to me before, unfortunately. And that's kind of unfortunate. So when it slides on, see, I put the wrong one on, and this is what happens. Let me go fix that. So they're actually the same. They're just kind of reversed. One has a plus side, one has a negative side. But if you put it on, like I just showed you, kind of they're a pain to get off. Here's the correct way. They don't come on and off as well as they do with the actual system, which is unfortunate. But you got the shoulder buttons, and this will tell you how many players are playing. Same with the grip. Here, you actually have, it shows you how many players are connected. Connect 4 players. So it does kind of come with 2 controllers. And the idea when you have these on the go is you can just use it as a tabletop game, is use the thing stand here and put it down and play. Now the words, if they're small, they're kind of hard to read, FYI. Also, the screen has a lot of glare. If you're out in the sun, it does have a lot of glare. I'm sure you can put on a screen cover, and that will certainly help. So I'm going to take this off. We're going to take the Joy-Cons off, and we're going to show you how much easier it is to attach them to the actual unit itself. Boom. So these Joy-Cons have a 20-hour life. The system itself can last anywhere from 2.5 hours to 6 hours, depending on the game you're playing. So Zelda lasts me about 2.5 hours of gameplay. The chip is actually an NVIDIA Tegra X1 chip, which is about the same chip that's found in the NVIDIA Shield. So it's a pretty powerful unit. Graphically, it looks very similar to the Wii U, though. It's not 720p on here. When you dock it to a TV, it's only 900p, not 1080p. And let me just show you the system itself. As far as the bottom, this is where you dock it. The micro SD card slot, super hard to find. It's actually right underneath here, right beneath the stand. And there's 32 gigs of internal memory. However, you can expand that through micro SD, which is key. Because I know Sony's really got their own proprietary thing, and that's nice Nintendo did that. So if you've downloaded games, you're going to need a micro SD card to be able to save those games. This is where the games actually plug into right here, at the very top. And so the games look like, they're like almost like thick SD cards. Very unique, obviously proprietary. Your volume, you have your power on off here. And that's pretty much it. So I have it on here. I go to my home here. And right now I've got Zelda in it. I've also downloaded a couple games, Shovel Knight, which is a great series. If you're going to check that series out, it's really cool. Pretty basic though. There's no web browser. There's no apps. I'm hoping Nintendo will upgrade this soon. Basically what you have is your power, you have your settings, you can do parental control, you can controller, you can let them know if you're doing the 2 controller, if you're doing the 1 controller. Pictures, this is when you do screenshots. eShop, I'll click on that. And this kind of shows you recent, coming soon. There's no virtual shop yet, so you can't play any NES games or anything like that yet. Although I know recent releases, looks like there's a handful like Neo Geo games, for example, that they've released so far on it. Let's click home. You also have a news feed. Kind of information. Let's check out Zelda. Close that Shovel Knight. I had to recently delete my game, which is unfortunate. Long story, I won't get into it. So this game isn't as far as I was in the game, but this is a really fun Zelda game. I just want to show you how quick or how long it takes to load. Volume's at full volume. Pretty quick. I really like the cell shading in this game. Is awesome. Really fun game. Highly recommend it. If you like Zelda, so obviously you'll be a big fan of this game. Go back. And I've got these 2 games downloaded. And this is your battery life here, the Wi-Fi, the time obviously. And pretty basic, but pretty much everything you need to know as far as the format goes. Now I'm going to share with you guys my overall thoughts and opinion. Oh, real quick, I do want to mention there is an HD rumble feature in these Joy-Cons. That's something new that Nintendo's featuring. Nintendo pretty much came out with the rumble packs for back in the N64, and I've dealt with it a little bit playing Zelda, but apparently there's other games that utilize this really cool HD rumble feature, which just sounds really sweet. Now's my conclusion, my thoughts. So in conclusion, what do I think about Nintendo Switch? What are my thoughts? Out of a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being terrible, absolutely horrible, 10 being the best console I've ever played, absolutely amazing, absolutely must buy, I'd give the Switch honestly a 7 out of 10. It's a good system. It has a foundation to be a really good system. One thing we know for sure is Nintendo has a very good track record of putting out fantastic first-party games. Big question mark are third-party support. Are publishers going to be releasing games for this on a regular basis? Are there going to be exclusive games for the Switch? Graphically, it's really on par with the Wii U, to be honest with you. The screen will display in 720p. When you actually dock it to the home console, which is streamless, you actually can have it playing on the mobily, and you can actually dock it, and it will actually appear on the TV, which is really cool. That's more like 900p, so it's not quite 1080p. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're playing it. So it's not going to blow you away graphically. I'm sure PS4, Xbox One certainly have a lot more graphic capability than this thing. What sets systems apart, it's not so much the system, it's the games that support the system. So that's going to be a big question mark. That's why I can't really give the system more than a 7 out of 10 at this point. Another thing I also want to make note is the online capability. So basically out of the box, there is some online. It's free right now. I believe later on in the fall they're going to have some more information. It is going to, at that point, going to cost some money to play online. That's one thing Nintendo's going to be kind of been behind on. Microsoft has done a really good job building Xbox Live. Sony has their own network for playing online. One thing about Nintendo, though, is they've been kind of lacking with that. They still have, for some reason, they're sticking with the friend code, which is really annoying. It's very cumbersome to have friend codes. I don't remember my friend code. Basically, what Nintendo said is later on they're going to have a link to Facebook and Twitter and social media, which certainly will be the step in the right direction. As far as online multiplayer, you can play right now for basic stuff, but again, they're going to expand that later in fall. As far as online, there's an app with your phone that you can actually later on in fall, supposedly, you can hook it up to your phone and play that online through your phone. So I'm not quite sure how the details of how that works on your phone quite yet. I'm curious though, if you don't have unlimited plan for your phone, I can see that costing quite a bit of money for data to use on your phone to play this online. So that is kind of wait and see. Battery life for this thing, the Joy-Cons will last upwards to 20 plus hours. You do have to plug them in. There is a grip that you can purchase separately you can basically dock it and charge it, which is nice. It doesn't come with that, so the only way to really charge the Joy-Cons is to have this docked with the Joy-Cons into the actual system here, like so. And so I think 20 hours is certainly good. Zelda is certainly, I've heard, one of the best Zelda's games that people are saying. I've played it, I bought it, at launch. I'm certainly enjoying the new Zelda. It's really good, highly recommended. The other games, Bomberman, I haven't played that yet, but I've played other Bombermans. They have that 1-2 switch game, haven't played that either. It's a bunch of mini games. So not the strongest launch title for Nintendo by all means, but I believe that Nintendo will have other games come out. They got Mario Kart 8. They're basically a remix of that coming out. They've got, I'm sure, the new Smash Brothers that will be coming out. But the big thing, though, is third-party support. What other games are coming out by third-party outside of Nintendo? Because that's going to be the deal breaker for the system. But overall, it's a good console. Certainly, there's a lot of potential here. I'm a huge fan of Nintendo. I really want to see them do well. It's interesting they're taking their strongest market and being the handheld market, and they're basically applying that to the home console market, which I think is smart. I think it's a smart strategy by Nintendo. I'm not a huge fan of the Joy-Cons themselves. They got rid of the standard D-pad, which Nintendo really basically created the D-pad more or less, and they got rid of that. And the buttons are really small. The analog sticks are very short give on both of them. There's linking issues with the left Joy-Con. Basically, it will basically not connect correctly, and Nintendo's supposed to be patching that. So there are some issues. The interface itself is pretty basic. There is no web browser, which is crazy, in my opinion. There really are no apps. You can't do Netflix or Facebook or anything like that on this joypad. You could do it basically on the gamepad for the Wii U, you just can't do it on here. Now, I'm sure Nintendo's going to change that. Interesting that they're going back to the cards. This is like the first home console in a while that has not CD or Blu-ray based disc format, which is interesting. So overall, I give it a 7 out of 10. Thank you for watching, guys. Please leave a comment below. Thank you for liking this video, and we'll see you guys soon. Game on. First off, guys, thank you so much for watching. Also, please subscribe. That means a lot. And if you want to stay in contact, you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I also have a website, Gamester81.com, and I have t-shirts available that help support the show as well. And those are available at chopchopgoods.com.